Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Flea and I are back as we continue our look into horror anime with This Monster Wants to Eat Me, created by Sai Nakawa. A suicidal girl agrees to be eaten by a mermaid, so the mermaid herself agrees to care for her and protect her until it's time to eat. Welcome back. I know it's been so long since I've done a stream. People might not remember the channel, but we're back.
I know. He always is busy on Sunday.
It just depends. It's just the way that things work.
I normally miss your stream with Chris because it clashes with when I eat.
Yeah,
So the fact a little bit early this week was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, what we're trying to do, because we've actually got a new slot. It's Friday mornings at 3 o'clock in the morning, because that's sort of him being back at work and stuff. We don't have to physically go into the office.
Oh, wow. Yeah, fair enough.
So that's it. But what we're trying to do as well, because we'll have Luna, who's joined us now for the Thursday slot / Friday morning for us in the UK. So we're trying to catch up with Ash vs. Evil Dead and get that finished. So we're like picking Sundays or another day during the week to get it done. But say la vie, it's all part of it. Got to keep it going. You know what I mean? It's.
I'm still bouncing off 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, okay.
Here, you don't become a podcaster. You don't become a YouTuber if you expect a 9 to 5 job. Do you know what I mean?
3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, my God, I'm normally just going to sleep at that time. Never mind watching stuff. Oof.
No,
that means I'm going to have to stay up longer to support the channel.
I get my head down. I go to bed about 8 o'clock or so, and then get up again.
That's a really good idea.
So it's like get at least a couple of hours to refresh you.
If I do that, I tend to sleep all the way through the night.
I've always had a weird sleep pattern anyway. I've never had a normal sleep pattern. But this was an interesting one. This is different from anything we've watched.
Are you enjoying this?
I am, and I can kind of see it going a couple of ways.
Because it's like as far as horror goes, the horror is there, but a lot of it is very subtle.
It's a different pace. Like everything's laid out early, and I think it's more about the emotional connection. And this is about monsters. You know what makes a monster. You know, do you choose to be monstrous, or do you have any control over that?
I'd say it's like I like the difference between this kind of story in the East and the West, because it's like if a story is monster focused in the West, it's like it's focused in the fact that the monster bursts through the door with the shot looking up at the monster to make it bigger than normal as it marches across the room in its hockey mask with its knife or whatever. Where in this it asks more of the question like, what is it to be a monster? And I really like that.
Yeah, it's a good it's the underlying story. This is grief and survivor's guilt. I mean, that's the underpinning theme of this series.
How many series of anything can you mention where like the whole kind of like underpinning relationship between the monster and its victim is the monster saying, I want to kill you, and the victim saying, please do it. Followed by the monster coming up with excuse after excuse why they can't do it right now.
Yes. That's the that's the dynamic here, and that's what I think is going to get explored later on. So we start off, obviously, we have this sort of dream sequence intro of Hanako, who's the main character in this. She's sort of floating underwater, and the ocean is a big part of her psyche, which obviously gets explained to us later on why. And every day for her is just depressing melancholy. Like she's a functioning. I think she just functions out of duty, as
I'm going to say,
opposed
does she even really function? But that first scene, I watched that first scene and I was like, this is going to be amazing. I've got to get Colin to add this to the list.
Mm-hmm. Remember, because this is a recent. This was only out last year. You know, the end of last year. Only
Yeah, it's what's it?
finished the
It's
first season, so
the
we're right up to date with this one. This one's just out, so
oh yeah, it's like literally it ran from October to it ran from like the beginning of October to literally the last episode was Christmas Day last year.
mhm.
And it's like there's a manga series which is like 12 volumes long, and it's still being produced. The story hasn't ended yet.
Mhm.
So I think this is one of those ones where it's kind of, if you enjoy the first series, it's going to be a long wait until we get the second one.
Yeah. Although I don't know how much legs this has in terms of it's not a long story. You know, what I mean, this type of story runs danger of they might pad it out too much. At some point,
It does
we'll have to have a conclusion, and or else you lose the whole point.
Mm. Well, being the fact this has been written in Japan and not in America, I think we will eventually reach the point where Shuri gets to achieve Hinako's wish.
Mm-hmm. But obviously, we've got this. She's going to school. They're talking about the summer festival. She's getting text messages. She's already mentioned like summer isn't a good time.
She's stating how much she hates the heat and how she hates summer.
Mm-hmm.
And how she wishes summer would just disappear.
And this is where she meets Ruri, which we don't know them, but Shuri, sorry. She meets a strange girl on the bridge because it looks as if she was about to throw herself off. She was like, I think every day she takes herself to that bridge and psychs herself up to do it. I mean, this is somebody who's not well, not happy.
This is the problem. She psychs herself up every day to end her own life, but she can't because of the promise she made to her parents.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. She lives out of duty as opposed to actually she's existing. You know, she's not living.
Yeah. Same things every day. Never gets involved, never talks to other people apart from her best friend. Her best friend is, of course, the best girl in this series.
Miko.
Miko.
She reminded me instantly of Hannah from Mariko-chan. And then I accidentally found out there's a Mariko-chan live action movie.
Yeah, I saw you posted that because I was like, oh god.
Yeah, that was purely by accident because I was like, oh, who is it? Who's it in Mariko-chan? I couldn't remember her name, then I had to go look it up. And then I went down this rabbit hole. And then I'm like, oh right, yes, that's who, right. Oh, right, okay, there's something else for the list. Right, okay. It never ends.
Going on there, that's going on there. It's like she's I'm a big fan of Feruze Ai, who's the woman who does the voice of Miko in this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've watched everything she's been in. I'm not a wee bunch.
But yeah, it's cool. So on the surface, like Miko's just your typical, hyper girl, you know, bubble head, nothing to, just talks about food, does weird anime, you know, it switches over to strange anime stuff, cartoony type, and then
in trouble with all the teachers for missing this or doing that.
Mm-hmm.
She's the kind of friend that every kind of like fatalistically minded, pessimistic character needs.
Yep.
They're a great couple.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You're sort of going, how does somebody like Hanako make friends with somebody like this? Because she's detached from the world.
Yeah. It's almost as if she's living part of her life for Hinako. She's living her life enough for herself and enough for Hinako at the same time, and just kind of like dragging Hinako along by the hand as she does it.
And all throughout this, Haneko's having strange visions. She keeps stopping, like wigging out, and just seeing everybody underwater. That's so like the ocean is a massive, massive thing.
I wonder if that has something to do with her like detachment.
I think it is. It's how she's.
She's not viewed like when she has like the visions of being underwater. It's not so. It's not kind of like her vision, but it's kind of like an image of how detached, how far away she is from the rest of the world and the rest of life.
Yeah, she's not there. She's not. She's existing. She's not living, and this is part of it. This is her psyche. Also, filling in, because she yearns to return to her family, which we find out means the whole tragedy behind this. It does go there. Yeah, this monster wants to eat me could take a couple of turns. There's a lot of that in it, a lot of subtext.
So I can't say too much because I'm up to date with the manga at the moment. So
but then this is where this is where everything just escalates in the first episode. So we'll get everything laid out, pretty much. Hinako goes to the beach or down by the water, and Isoana, basically a yokai, a monster, comes out to try and eat her. And it uses her, it's like its tentacles, it's like it's her. It was very much Fairy Sadako-esque.
I'm gonna say you've got to be honest. The Japanese are on point with their monsters. They really are.
Absolutely.
I mean, Anissa Ono is a creepy, long-haired sea hag vampire kind of thing. And it's going to eat her.
This is what frustrates me, and Chris and I were talking about it earlier, actually, because we were talking about The Thing, for example, and practical effects and the way they're being used.
Yeah.
We have lost that. We had our own monsters. Even go back to Universal monsters, go back to folklore, like werewolves and Rumpelstiltskin, you name it, like folklore. We had leprechauns. We had our own monsters. But that's all been erased. It's been homogenized. It's been generalized in this. I've said this before, like the zombie, the werewolf, and the vampire have all been morphed into this homogenous, pale skin, like generic thing, and they've no character anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with that. There are very few kind of like I can't use this one as an example because that creature is that right. No, I am going to use it. Right, this one, is a creature of Japanese folklore. It's thousands of years old, but it still has its own unique identity. Unlike all the Western monsters that, like you say, they've just kind of like all been like gathered into one.
But this is recent. This is not. That wasn't always like this. We could appreciate both. Do you know what I mean? Just because I like, my own culture doesn't mean I hate others.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying no. What the point I'm making is we have done this. This is not like we've never had any culture. We've never had any imagination. We bloody certainly did. Because you need imagination. It's imagination that drives society. We would not be the society we are. Look at the societies without imagination, without culture. Look at the state of them.
Yeah. Without imagination, you can't move forward because it's the ability to dream that gives people ideas to strive for.
Yeah, it's reaching for the stars, touch the moon. That sort of analogy. That's gone. That has been beaten out of us by this shitty period of history. Like, we're living through a really shitty period of history. It will be looked back upon with scorn.
So it's almost as if it's like we've got it. so easy. We don't have to stretch. We don't have to dream anymore. We don't have to reach. We can just like sit here, do our jobs, get paid, come home, buy the things we need, the things we want, the things we like, go to bed, go to sleep, get up, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, but we're not even getting.
There's no reason out there for people to strive anymore.
But that's why things are falling apart and nothing works. Because you're not being inspired. You're not being inspired to do better. Nothing's being presented to you. Like entertainment is shit right now. It is terrible.
Mm.
It is generic as
Agree-
hell. The imagination's
I
gone.
agree
It's like a
with that.
civil servant class has taken over everything. Everything's like box ticking, civil servants esque. Imagination is a by the numbers thing. There's nothing to surprise us anymore. Everything's so formulaic. And it does. We see everything, like right down to potholes in the roads. You know what I mean? That's the rot. No incentive to try. That's the rot. Things don't work. And that's culture is, important. Imagination is important. Being inspired, seeing somebody poking your imagination, it may not go the direction. Not everyone's going to be an inventor, but it doesn't mean your life doesn't have purpose or can't have purpose. And getting your imagination sparked and encouraged is the best thing ever. And the minute that was stopped, that was the worst thing, and it's happened in recent history. The
And
2000s.
the worst thing about it is the fact that very few people seem to care at the moment.
Because it's apathy. That's what it does. It creates apathy. But we're going past the apathy and the anger. People are angry and they don't know why. They're angry at everything, and that's it. Because there's no inspiration, and it's not. You'll never get it from a civil servant. You'll not be inspired by a civil servant type. I mean, they're antithesis of that. You'll not be inspired by politicians. You know what I mean? They're the most uninspiring people on the planet.
It's
It's having your own personal imagination and how it affects you. Science fiction, horror, seeing we were talking about how people don't want to get into practical effects anymore because they think they can just swipe left and right on a tablet.
Yeah. So why spend all that time working on a practical effect when you can just like press half a dozen buttons and get exactly the same effect?
But then that's why nobody's being inspired. That's why movies are dying a death.
Yeah.
Movies aren't nobody's going to cinemas to watch movies because there's nothing to make you inspired. Nothing to get you excited about. There's nothing is going to surprise you. And if we go back to Vampire Hunter D, you end up being Magnus sitting on the throne, brooding. That's the thing,
Yeah.
in your big gothic rocket ship. That's what you're going to end up being, just brooding vampire, sitting there going, nothing surprises me anymore. That's the way to live.
Oh, Doris.
Good old Doris.
But it is. That's exactly how I mean, it's weird how it's kind of like jumping back to the Monster on Sweet Me. Hinako's life is oh no, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh no, Hinako's life mirrors life itself so much.
We can see parallels that today. People doom scrolling on the phone.
Yeah,
Hate
the
everything.
like the lifelessness. They're just like repeating the same things every day just because that's your routine. Like not engaging with anybody. But because she mentioned they mentioned her bento, her packed lunch, and how she takes exactly the same thing every day.
I'm a bit guilty of that. I'm not lying.
Yeah, because it's like she doesn't really want to eat, but she promised someone she would.
No, mine's more like I budget out start of the week. That's it. You know, the bubble lunch. I don't want to think about it. I hate lunchtime.
Every meal.
Believe it or not, lunch is that's my least favorite meal of the day. It just seems like a pointless. It's just a fuel stop. You know what I mean? It's just a fill up to get you going. I'd rather have a nice breakfast or a nice evening meal. That's something I would actually think about more. Having a nice breakfast or a nice dinner. Lunch is just, yeah, okay. Need to take on some fuel to get on with the day. Done. That's about as much emotional investment to have in it. It's strange.
Life is life. It's just life, isn't it?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, the Iso Anna tries to grab Hinako, basically wants to kill her. This is where Shuri appears again, who is a mermaid. Basically saves Hinako from the other monster.
But at this point, you've got to be able to see it. The transformation sequence between like Shuri's regular everyday person mode and her kind of like fighting mermaid mode is exquisite.
Mm-hmm. Even the fact
So
that her hair becomes her
the
tail.
way you literally see the scales come out of the skin and then individually flatten down against her.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. But
But
yeah,
this is
it's
where
like it's.
it was a good
Sorry,
fight
after
as
you.
well. No, it was a good fight as well. That was good. Two monsters basically going off against each other, and
I say I like the way they kind of like kept it hazed out in the distance, but you could still always see like the two individual monsters battling with each other. And the fact that when the battle is over, Shuri comes out and she's drenched in blood.
mm-hmm. And this is where Shuri basically tells her that, yes, I'm a mermaid. The only reason I'm here is I'm going to eat you, but no one else gets to eat you. You're mine. But I'm going to make sure you taste nice first.
It's not the kind of thing you really want to hear when you're walking home, is it?
Well, the thing is, when the Asa Anna grabbed grabbed Hinako, she offered no resistance. She just went with it.
Mm.
Like that was something that struck Shuri. She mentions it later on.
Right. And it's the bit where it's the bit like right at the end where she says she's going to eat her. No, it's not that bit. No, it's it's right at the end of this episode where it turns out that Shuri is being added to the school, added to the high school that Hinako is as a transfer student.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they introduce her, and she's going like it's like some happening this summer. This monster wants to eat me, and it's just like the really kind of like little creepy smile before it cuts and the music starts.
Yeah, it's a completely different take, isn't it? It's not just somebody. It's not like a
As
chase movie or anything.
as a first episode of anything, this is a triumph. It was absolutely. That's it. I'm just kind of. I just first time watching. I'm just kind of like, well, that's it. I'm going to enjoy this.
It's different, isn't it? It's not your usual fare, even for anime.
Mm. Oh, there are lots of animes like this. Trust me. We just haven't delved into this corner of the anime world before.
All right. Well, like I said, I think it's just fascinating that she's just, she's laid her cards on the table. Hinako is just nonplussed. Like, she's accepting of it, almost welcoming it.
That's it, though. I mean, it's like you begin to understand just how far the rot has gone in her. Because it's like she can't take her own life because she's promised not to. But she's looking for a way out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's kind of one of the things. If she was walking down the street and some lunatic with a knife lunged at her, I don't think she'd get out of the way.
No, she'd just take it. That's the mind state she's in. But Shuri notices that about her, and she says, "No, you're not ready yet. When you love life again, I'm going to eat you."
How evil is that? That is Right. When was the last time in any horror film, any horror series you ever cared to mention something that monstrous was said?
I can't, to be honest. It's always
Because it's like
very
it's like
cliche.
you're in a really miserable place, and because of that, you want to die. Well, I'm going to pull you out of this miserable place, and I'm going to make you want to live life again. And the moment you want to live life again, that's when you die.
Yeah.
Boom. That's kind of that's arc
That's
villain
dark. Yep, that is.
speech right there. And there's a little fist bump there where you go, yes, it's
But that's
monstrous. What do
also
you think of a monster? I mean,
yeah. That's I mean, it's not the nature of physical. This is the choice, isn't it? This is what gets explored
yeah, yeah.
through these couple of episodes.
See,
Is that
in I've noticed at the moment in like Western cinema, especially in horror, well, in pretty much everything, we we seem to be going through a phase where we have to humanize the bad guy.
they're
It's like, oh, the bad guy is a bad guy, but oh, it's because this,
misunderstood? It's our fault.
yes, this happened in his past. He's he's misunderstood. He's not really a bad guy. He's just been driven by circumstance. Yeah. Nah, no. The monster is the monster because it is a monster.
And the whole point is you can't comprehend. That's always been the fascination with true crime, for example, is
Yeah,
people can't get their heads around why does someone do this?
yeah,
You know,
and
that's the whole thing.
it's the same here for a long time. For a long time, you will not understand the things that Sherry says, the things that Sherry. I mean, she's an incredibly pushy person. She's about as blunt as a brick to the face.
But that maybe comes with being an immortal being, just that's it. Let's go ahead and NASA Reese to give a speech that agrees with my point. He said the main reason for the Artemis space program is to inspire. Its inspiration is an all-time low. Look at the apathy towards that. Like, and
I followed it.
I was partly guilty myself of
Mm,
apathy towards being the furthest away from Earth.
mm.
It being a major step. Like, to be honest, from 1969, there should be so much further. We should be so much further along.
Yeah, I mean there was supposed to be. I think when it tallies up, there was supposed to be like 25 Apollo moon landings, 20 to 25 Apollo moon landings.
Mhm.
They stopped with 17 because people had lost interest. People were beginning to question exactly what are we going to get out of these billions and billions of tax dollars we're spending on sending man to the moon over and over again that we haven't achieved already.
Shit.
But there's only so many times you can go to the moon and bring rocks back. There's only so many times you can go to the moon and drive a space car around on its surface. Gotta be honest, I'm holding that up as an analogy of the movie industry at the moment. There's so many times you can tell exactly the same old story before people stop going to watch it.
Yeah, that's it. Apparently we're having trouble connecting. Darn, just checking this out here. Flip's sake.
I would blame Discord because Discord has been a pain in the ass all week. But I
Yeah,
don't think
we're not on Discord, so freaking something's went wrong today. I don't know. This is still recording, so
keep going. You can always post the recording.
yeah, we might have to post this as a recording, folks.
I'm going to blame sunspots and the Russians.
Just put a note out. Message in the chat. See if it actually. For God's sake, that's really annoying. So people can join the stream, and it's that's why we're late as well, because this thing was not bloody connecting up the way it should have done. It's still there.
Still there?
No, everything in this end. Ah, for fuck's sake. Right, this is going to be... Right. Folks, this might have to be uploaded as a video, so apologies for the disjointed nature of it. I thought we were live, but the stream appears to still be there. People can't connect in. I can't connect in on my phone. I'm trying here to see if it'll pop up. The live chat's working. Ah, fucking... It's been a while since we had this sort of issue.
See if I can connect with YouTube. YouTube.
Yeah, if you can just it shows that we're live, but
Yep, right. So, yep, I'm going to say I can. Yeah, I can see that. I can see the live chat. Hello,
but
chat.
it's not connecting to the video.
But yeah, it's spinning circle of doom as far as the video is concerned.
Very strange. Right, I suppose we'll just try and we'll carry on. This will be uploaded, and then we'll take it from there. What a freaking pain in the arse. Yep, spinning. Right. Okay. Anyway, let's right. We'll do the review, and then I'll post it as a video later. Something's went wrong tonight. I don't know what. I had a successful stream earlier. It's not like it's fucking haven't streamed in a while. What
No, like 3 hours ago, everything was fine.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Nothing's changed. But yeah, anyway, Shuri is now in class with Hanako. Mika has been ill. She's had to take time off for being ill. So it conveniently leaves her seat empty.
So new girl Shuri gets put in the seat, and they'll do it like a seating plan. They'll change all the seating around tomorrow.
Is that all it takes? One student to join to completely disrupt the entire class?
A teacher can do a seating plan change anytime they want to. Anytime they want to.
Yeah, fair enough.
I get the feeling that Miko has actually been off for quite some time. Because when she comes back, it's like Shuri is in her seat. Hinako has been moved one seat backwards and is sitting behind Shuri. And Miko is now sitting in the center of the classroom at the front, directly in front of the teacher's table.
We never had
the teacher seems to think that she doesn't concentrate in class.
I can't think why.
It's because it's true. Yeah. This is one of the reasons why Miko is best girl, because Miko is a force of nature and is lovely.
But yeah, it was Shuri and Hinako then are spending time together. Yeah, the conversation gets very let's say subtle. There's like a lot of subtle lesbian undertones going on throughout this.
Right. I have a confession. This anime belongs to a subset which is known as Yuri. Feel free to Google it. Yuri is anime which is set around the premise that sometimes girls like other girls.
It's not very. Yeah, it's so subtle you can barely pick it up in this.
It's it's very, very well done. It's like it's like being tapped on the cheek with a slice of lemon tied to a rock.
Yeah, it's
Good
it's
stuff.
there. It's out there. It's so
Good,
be it.
good. It's kind of one of those, if you're not quite listening properly, it's like, wait a minute, what did she just say?
Yeah.
It could be worse though. Like this is very, very subtle, very, very sweet, very, very well done. Unlike something that's like the equivalent of, say, Legend of the Overfiend for women.
Yeah, there's nothing subtle about that. That's getting
Nope.
kicked in the
Nope.
knackers.
That's kind of like that's kind of like being castrated with 2 house bricks without anesthetic.
But also,
You get your caught in between the bricks.
if it was done, if this is a Western story, it wouldn't just not be subtle at all. It'd be depressing as well. There'd be no sense of fun.
This is very true.
There's a sense of fun to
Very,
this.
very true.
You know what I mean? They're playing with it. It's fun, and you can go along with it. But if it was Western, you'd just be getting preached to, and
Yeah.
can't be bothered with that anymore. It's boring.
See, I found anime that preaches to you against things like, you know, environmental issues or health issues and things like that. But I've never found anything that kind of like preaches to you about gender or sexuality or anything like that. It's just an accepted part of life.
And once again, if the characters are
should
good,
be.
nobody cares. And that's always been the case. You write good characters, you write a good story, nobody gives a shit.
Right.
It's only these
Right.
fucking weird,
Yeah.
bitter people who hate the world,
Mm.
you know, for the spite that
Yeah.
do this.
It's like, how good is this story? At the moment, things may change. It only needs 3 people to drive the story forward. And that's the 3 main protagonists.
Yep. Because what effectively we have here is, dare I say it, a love triangle. Because Shuri has effectively pushed herself in, taken advantage. You know, Miko's off sick. She's pushed herself in. Miko comes back, and all of a sudden, there's this new player. Or Hinako's affections, and she's not happy.
Shut up! I'm loving it. I love it. I love it.
But that's what I mean. On the surface, that's what's going on here.
Yeah, this is like this is the kind of anime where, apart from the fact that Hinako is a massive depressive with suicidal tendencies, which is, well, you've got to be honest. She wears it together with her heart. She wears that on her sleeve. It doesn't shy away from that. But everything else that's taking part in this, the horror, the day-to-day, what's happening between the 3 characters, so subtle. You've got to watch it or you will miss it. The manga's the same. You can't skip a page. And I love that. I love that so much.
But we'll get to that point as well that Hanako isn't worried about herself, but she begs Shuri not to eat Miko. It's like, please don't eat Miko. And Shuri's like, no, she doesn't radiate that. You know, she doesn't even be remotely appealing like you are. So straight away we know there's something about Hinako that sets her apart. But don't think it's not her personality. There's something about her. Because we've already had a yokai attack. But find out that other yokai being drawn to her. There's something about her scent or her flesh or something.
It starts making you ask questions like, if these yokai, these yokai are drawn to her, yeah. exactly how she managed to survive this long.
Well, that question comes up because Shirio basically promises to protect her from the other yokai. This isn't the sweeping scene, is it? Nope,
Oh.
it's not yet. Nope, it's the next episode. We haven't had any more attacks yet, you know what I mean? This
No,
one's just setting
it
up the
was
fact that
the
Shuri's moved in. Miko isn't too happy about it. Also, Hanako knows exactly who and what Shuri is, and her only concern is to protect her friend, not
yeah.
the.
I've got to be honest. I love the way that Miko is constantly trying to one up Shuri. Shuri just doesn't care. She just rolls with it.
Yeah, there's like a battle of wills going on. Obviously, it becomes more pronounced later on, but this is it. It looks like silly high school girl stuff,
Yeah,
despite the dark undertone of Hanako's going to die at the end of this.
I was going to like. Which is the greatest horror in this? Do you think? Is it the yokai that we know are going to turn up? Is it the fact that sometime Shuri is going to kill Hinako, or is it just Hinako?
I think the fact, like you said, Shuri isn't going to kill Hinako until she wants to live.
But
That's the
I've got to
horror.
be honest. Hinako, no, it's like that. Hinako scares me. Her mindset scares me.
She'd have already like committed seppuku. I can't remember. There's a separate name for when women do it, isn't there? Or is it seppuku as well?
I think it's seppuku as well. Googling.
But she's effectively, if it wasn't for the promise that she made, she'd have already committed seppuku.
Apparently, the female version of seppuku is called jigai. Oh, that's the one where you know, as in seppuku, you cut your stomach open.
Yeah, and you have a second to remove your head.
Yeah, in jigai, you use like a dagger and you just like slam it straight through the Adam's apple. Didn't know that had a separate name, to be honest.
I wasn't too sure. I don't know if it's specific, either samurai and non-samurai, but obviously seppuku, you need a second, or it's better to have a second.
Yes. Because if it looks for one moment,
it can be done without one, but that would be like a humiliation.
Yeah. Oh, the ultimate humiliation is when you're like your daimyo asks you to perform seppuku, but when you get there, there's a wooden sword because they don't even trust you enough to have a sword. In which case, it is your second who kills you. And if there isn't a second, they will give you an executioner. We should watch the Lone Wolf and Cub series of films. We really should.
But yeah, she would have done that. I mean, without a doubt. If it wasn't for her sense of honor, then yeah, she wouldn't be here anymore. But the fact that Shuri isn't going to kill her until she wants to actually live, finds a purpose to live again, that's evil.
It's like when she said, like, serious question, when she said when you learn to live again, that's when I'm going to eat you, did you smile? Because I sure as hell did.
I can see from that moment I knew where this was going to go.
Yeah, because it's like I think we mentioned this a few minutes ago, but that is monstrous. That is true. That is blood-chillingly monstrous, and we've lost that over here in the West. We have lost the ability to turn around and say something as heartless and as cruel as that.
Oh, people
in
be
a live
weird like
action.
that. Like,
Never, 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 never in live action. Never mind animation.
Mhm. Yeah, it's everything's become so sanitized and horrible. It's generic. But here's what the moral quandary, and this is where it's going to get interesting. I believe
Mm.
you don't get someone to that point unless you invest in them. So the only way Sherry isn't going to be able to click her fingers and make Hanako want to live again.
Oh no! I mean, look at what's it? Is it the next episode? The festival scene. It's one
Mhm.
of the they go to a festival. Shuri literally has to crowbar her out of her. Has to literally crowbar Hinako out of her house. Also, there's the thing where you're watching this, and every so often they'll just kind of like there'll be a moment of humor. There'll be like somebody will say something. Somebody will wait, this they can't mean that kind of thing. The little shorts at the end of every episode where it explains things that have happened in like a humorous kind of way.
Mhm. I
Which I
found that kind of jarring, to be honest. Out of
like.
this,
It's an amazing.
my only complaint.
Do I want to use the word jumps? Yeah, it's a juxtaposition to how serious. Right, but because you have to remember, this is still a children's anime. And it's going to some very dark, very deep, very serious place. Right. Japan has not one of the highest suicide rate amongst children in the world because of the amount of pressure and shit that the adult world basically unloads on top of their heads.
And they don't know how to stop. They're in that position where
And yeah,
stopping it just
how do you stop the human psyche doing what the human psyche feels it has to do? I mean, you could talk to someone and give someone all the counselling you want, and then when the moment they leave the building, they could jump in front of the first bus that comes along. I mean, there's no way to truly cure that, like the human mind of its sickness. So it's like I kind of understand why they need like to push in like the little like the pratfalls and the laughs and the silly bits of humour to lighten the load that the anime is kind of like pushing at people.
maybe it's
If
just
they
me
like,
'cause I embrace the darkness, so I'm like,
yeah, like if they ever released like it's like right then the monster wants to eat me 18 and over version, I think they'd take the humor out of it. Some of the humor is in the manga, but then again, like I've said, it's for like it's pretty much aimed at prepubescent girls. Not pubescent girls. It's aimed at girls between the age of like 12 to 16, I think. Like boys in the same kind of era, women, men, loads of people read this. It's a huge anime, and it's got a massive fan. It's a huge ISP, and it's got a massive fan base.
well, that's the thing. Even though it's aimed at a certain demographic, doesn't mean everyone else can't enjoy it. If it's a well written story, it can have a target demographic. But this is something else that's being missed is appeal. I talked about it with K-pop Demon Hunters that has managed to become a phenomena just because it's a good story and
Yeah.
young and old
Also,
family movie. Young and old can take something
yeah,
different from it.
it is. It's something new. It's something different. It's like you could say it's like it's a cartoon musical like I don't know, Snow White, Robin Hood, Beauty and the Beast, Moana, Ferngully, anyone you care to mention. The only difference between all these old animated films and K-pop Demon Hunters is K-pop Demon Hunters is coming from a completely different angle.
Mhm.
It's new, it's fresh, it's something that's never been tried before. K-pop Demon Hunters 2 is coming out, and Colin is telling everyone who walks into the shop about it.
It was just a random conversation because we got on the backpack on, so I just mentioned it, and all of a sudden it turned into a full conversation with the entire family. It was cool.
Yeah.
But that's once again, this is what we've
That
missed
is,
as well.
yeah, okay,
Unification. We've missed something that ties
yeah,
us
that
together.
is the beauty of something like this, where you could be walking down the street and someone's wearing I don't know, an Amityville Horror T-shirt, yeah,
Hmm.
and you're like, oh, you're a fan of Amityville Horror? Yeah, I am. What's your favorite film? You can start a conversation like that. If you walked up to someone in an Amityville Horror T-shirt these days and said, "Oh, you're an Amityville Horror fan, you're an Amityville fan," they'd probably run down the road screaming.
Yeah, but that's what we've
Because
lost.
people don't stop and talk in the streets anymore.
No, well,
The fact that you managed to get like a meaningful, good conversation with a family out and about because of something you both shared. That's awesome. That's how it used to be.
yeah, but that's what I'm advocating for. We need that back. We need that. Yes, things can be targeted for a certain person, but also it doesn't mean you have to exclude everybody else and be
Mm.
antagonistic. Where today, Western, because this is obviously Eastern culture as opposed to Western, but Western's very antagonistic. If you're not in this specific group, go away. It's not for you. It's very hateful, and it does, you know what I mean? It doesn't achieve what it set out to do,
Mm.
which the
Yeah.
claim is unity, but it's not. It's divisiveness, and it's, you know,
Let's look, 'cause it's like, God, how many times in the past, let's do the decade, let's do the whole decade. How many times in the last decade have people who are either starring in or affiliated with some program, television series, movie, whatever, turn around and gone, people of this demographic, don't bother going to see this film.
mhm.
Not for you.
And then people didn't, and then the thing fails.
Yeah, and then people
it's
didn't.
their
And everybody
fault.
turns around and goes, oh my God, they're haters, they're haters. They're not watching the film because they hate what the film is about. No, we don't want to hate what the film is about. You told us it wasn't for us, and so we weren't to go and watch it. So we didn't go and watch it. And because we did, as you said, you're complaining about it.
It's utter stupidity. It's moronic.
It's kind of weird, but it's like anime, because people who watch things like this tend to like. Well, I'm gesticulating, God knows, but people who watch anime, yeah, tend to form communities online, things like that. They tend to be quite small communities, quite closely knit. Well, you can just go into chat and go, "What about that last episode of One Piece?" That's it. Conversation for the next 3 hours.
Hmm.
It's like the horror community is exactly the same. It's like some genres of music are the same as well. Everything else just seems to be like everyone is an individual, and you do not talk about things you like.
So I can give an example. My favorite band, Iron Maiden. I could point to anybody in the globe, meet anybody in the globe with an Iron Maiden shirt, and instantly we're
Yeah.
the same family. I could
That's it. You
be
see,
the entire globe. I mean, every continent. There's
Yeah.
Iron Maiden have played. They've got a massive fan base. I could go to India. I could go to Southern America. I could go to Australasia. I could go to the Far East. And if I saw somebody else with an Iron Maiden shirt on, with the same, that's it. You know, no if buts or maybes. We're the same.
that's it. It's kind of like it's only like certain groups, certain fan bases that you can do that with. It's like it's like the generic slop that comes out from the generic slop factory.
Oh yeah, that's
Hollywood.
yeah, but that's the
It's
thing.
kind of like,
That's why
you
we're
like-
here, because we don't care about that shit.
yeah, it's like go and watch a film. Go and watch the latest film that comes from Hollywood. Yeah, a group of people walk into the cinema in silence. Yeah, they watch the film. The film ends. Everybody walks out. Nobody's talking about it.
No, everyone's forgotten. They've just
Yeah,
watched the Shiny Nights.
I remember when they our local cinema, our local Odeon, when the last 3 Star Wars films were coming out, decided to like do a limited showing of the original 3. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was non-stop. It was like one film interval, second film interval, third film. Yeah, when we all went into the cinema, everyone was buzzing because we were looking forward to it. Yeah, Everybody watched. They cheered, they yelled, they laughed. When everybody came out of that cinema, everybody was in just one big group talking about the things they'd just seen and how they enjoyed it. And maybe it was the first time they'd been there, or maybe like me, they'd been there when A New Hope opened for the first time and saw it on the first day it released when it came out in our local cinema, in local cinema in Hina. We were all Star Wars fans, and we were just like one big family. We stood in front of the cinema for about an hour, just talking about Star Wars and memories and the things that we used to do. Running around the woods, like local woods, pretending to be Luke Skywalker, that kind of thing. It just doesn't happen anymore.
No, because
it's like Marvel films. People go and watch Marvel films, come out and go home.
It's gone, and that's what I'm trying to push to get back.
Yeah,
make
it's
people
like
aware it doesn't have to be this way.
That's like the social aspect. It's kind of like in days of yore when everybody used to sit around the campfire. Nowadays, the campfire's gone out, the stories have ended, and everybody just buggers off home at the end of it.
Yeah, which defeats the whole. That's one reason why I'm trying to do this is get people, put the streams up ahead. Apart from it's buggered up tonight, but put the streams out at least 2 weeks in advance so people have chance to watch whatever it is we're watching and join in the chat. That's the whole purpose of this, is to try and get that back in some way. Get people used to. And it does. Once again, it's not antagonistic. It's just come on and we'll have a chat, and like we used to. Not this, I'm in this gang and that gang. If you like that movie, you hear that. These extremes, which it's a fucking movie. It's a TV series. Calm down.
It's like, oh my god. If you don't like The Monster Wants to Eat Me, then never talk to me again because I am part of this group.
Or if you don't like every episode 100%, or like I just mentioned, I found the anime bits a little distracting. Oh, that's it. You're a hater. Blah blah blah. People need to get away from that shit. That mindset is fucking retarded.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like like the little comic bit that explains bits and pieces that have gone on. Like the bits at the end are there to the reason they have like the little bits after the end of the ending credit. Right, the reason they have those there is to explain the more serious, maybe more complicated facts to like the younger viewers who are watching this. But because it's right at the end of the ending credit, you can totally skip it.
Mm-hmm. But that's right. Another cartoon they used to do that back in the day was Masters of the Universe, He-Man.
They did. Hi, I'm Adam, and this is to explain why this thing's tracks don't work like no. Yeah, I remember those ones.
Yeah, it brought up little anecdotes, by trying to live a better life. It's not a new concept.
Yeah, because it used to be
like
people.
I said, I'm invested in this sort of dark aspect, and basically what I see happening with this is Shuri is going to have to get invested with Hanako to bring her back from the brink. But you don't do that. You don't invest in something like that and not get change yourself. So there's going to be the moral quandary.
Yeah,
She's still going to be able to.
But here's the thing: you are viewing this, yes, from a human perspective.
Yeah, but has she done this before?
It's like Shuri isn't human. There is a scene later on where a certain character states that Shuri's got the rotten stench of a man-eater.
Mm-hmm.
It's what was it? It's something fire and ash or something like that.
It's the episode after this next one because this is where Shuri takes Hanako to the festival.
Oof. This is quite hard. But I will admit there are certain points in this anime. There are certain points in the manga that made me cry. The introduction at episode 1, where it's kind of like the dream sequence, always makes me well up because it's just so damn beautiful. A lot of it is the music, because I don't know if you've noticed, but the music in this anime is perfect. It's so quiet and it's so subtle; it just sits in the background.
It's oceanic. It's the waves. It's crashing waves. It's that sort of stillness.
It is. It's just kind of like lying on the beach in the sun with your eyes closed, listening to the sea kind of music. I've always said, right, anime is a form of art, and The Monster Wants to Eat Me proves it, because it is very arty, but in a good kind of way.
Oh yeah, this isn't flashy stuff. It's all about relationships and understanding, and
Yeah.
like I said, survivor's guilt. That's the main thing, because that starts to open up.
Yeah.
We know that something happened. It's connected to the summer festival, particularly. That's why Hinako does not want to be there.
She's using the excuse that she doesn't do crowns.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to be quite honest. I use exactly the same excuse.
I'm terrible. I don't like crowds anymore. Or I never really did, but I can handle them less now.
Mm.
Like I was meant to go to the supermarket today, and I'm like, nah, not on a Sunday, not happening. Because it's also worse, when people block off the aisles and I can't just walk up and down, or I start.
It's like you walk into you walk into the frozen aisle, and the entirety of the local women's institute is standing like
Just
they've
spread right across.
They've circled their trolleys like wagons, and they're just kind of all talking to each other, and you know you're not going to get past.
Yeah, I hate that. I can't.
They're always in front of the sausages or whatever you want to buy.
No, I'm like, nope. So I'll go on Tuesday when I'm off, because that's it. I'm done. I wasn't dealing with that today.
I normally do my
gigs as much.
I normally do my shopping on a Wednesday. I don't go during the weekend. Too busy. I don't go on Friday, because around here Friday is pension day.
Yeah, nobody needs that.
It's full of old people. I normally go shopping Wednesday morning, because middle of the week everyone's at work, and it's literally just me and maybe half a dozen other people.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I am a miserable sod like that. I don't care.
I totally get Hanako. Also, our supermarket started doing the shitty thing when they've moved everything again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, lost. I'm like, I hate you.
That's so you have to look around and maybe possibly see people like I wasn't going to buy a packet of boudoir fingers, but as I've seen them, I think I might.
No, I just start going, I need to get out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to have to relearn everything again so I can get what I need done. So yeah, I'm totally on Hanako's side of, no, not for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Same as like conventions and stuff. I have no interest in going and queuing up for things, or just bumbling around. I don't see it as a good day out.
I used to do anime conventions. God, not only did I used to do anime conventions, I used to help run the damn things. I was a gopher mom.
Mm-hmm.
So all like the helpers and everything who's running around showing the various anime and things, and like manning kiosks and things like that. I used to be in charge of those. Very fulfilling.
In fairness, at least that's giving you a purpose to be there. Yeah, just going as a hunter. Yeah, just going as a hunter doesn't.
Just going as a. It's like, what do you do? What do you do when you've been and seen everything? I suppose the thing about a lot of the conventions I go to is like there's always things going on. So there's always like shows being shown, whether it be anime or whether it be a sci-fi convention. Then they're showing like the entire original series of Star Trek or something like that. Space 1999, booths and things where you can buy things are very dangerous, especially at anime conventions. If you're going to find a statuette of Misa Misa, that would be the place you'd find it.
There may be one in the post. Just saying. It may be arriving at the end of this month. First week in May. Just then.
No, right. It's Misa Misa. I can't complain. I mean,
oops.
My my figurine of Sadako from The Rings. It's over there.
That's a nice. That's a nice.
Not only is it Sadako,
Funny.
it's Jojo Sadako, so she's got really nice legs.
Yeah, that's absolutely nice. I saw your when you posted the picture up in Discord. That was cool.
I did. Oh, what it is! It is a gorgeous figure because it's one of the high grade ones. You've got to be very careful because it's very detailed because it's very high grade resin. But the thing is, the resin itself is oily, so if you actually touch it too hard, you can actually smudge or lift the paint on it off with the grease on your fingers.
Overflip. All right.
Mine lives in its box. Mine totally lives in its box. Now I've built it. I'm never touching it again.
Yeah, I hate things in boxes though. I never understood
I've also
that.
got.
See people.
I've also got.
The worst thing for me is, yes, sorry folks, tangent, but see people sit with those Funko Pops like in boxes just stacked up behind them. It's like it looks like their place looks like a warehouse. Like,
I know someone who does it. It's like I've collected this because I enjoy collecting it, but now I've got it, I'm never going to touch it.
Yeah, it's just that, like you see it, a lot of podcasters have just got the stuff piled up behind them like a warehouse. You're like, why bother?
Right.
Or buy two. If you want to collect one, buy two, but take the other one out and display it.
Yeah,
put them in a box in your loft. Fair enough.
Yeah.
If that's the sole purpose of collecting them.
Like I say, the reason Sadako is staying in a box is literally because I don't want to damage it. Because there are kind of like I've got nobody's going to heard of Read or Die or Yomiko Readman. I've got a figurine of Yomiko Readman, who is a character from an anime called Read or Die. She wears spectacles. It's never been out of the box because I am terrified of snapping them.
That's fair enough.
I might actually find it out and take a photograph of it.
I think they need to do the boxes better then. If they're making it a display, they need to do the boxes better.
It sits very securely in this big block of polystyrene. I've had the top of it off so I can look. I've had one half of it off so I can look at it, but I've never actually lifted it out the other side, just because I'm terrified of damaging it.
That's a nice display.
Basically, I'm a coward.
Anyway. Meanwhile, back at the series.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Meanwhile, that's it. I'm looking for a figurine of Miko.
Once the fireworks start, that's when Hineko's had enough. So we know it's nothing to do with the crowds or something. You know, I mean, this is all relating to an event. We're getting that. You know, I mean, she runs off and ends up hiding out in the temple. Just gets too much for her.
I love the way she just kind of like the moment when she leaves Shiori, where she just kind of like Shiori's leading her along by a hand, and she's thinking like, why am I doing this? Why am I letting her do this? And she just snatches a hand away from her, and she's kind of like, her head's angled down and like a fringe, her bangs are hanging in front of her eyes, so you can't actually read her expression. And then it's just like, I'm sorry, and she turns and walks away.
Also, Mika happens to be at the festival as well and sees them together, but doesn't make a scene of it about it, which was absolutely expecting. But yeah, there's actually the hand holding thing was interesting as well. Did you notice that about the hand holding? So it starts off, you know, she's got her hand closed and she's being grabbed like that, you know, just being pulled along.
Yeah, she's being pulled along by a finger.
Just before the fireworks, you actually see Hineko relaxing into her hand.
Yeah. She's gripping back.
Yeah, just for a brief moment, she starts to relax and holds. She's not being led; she's almost voluntarily going with her. And then the fireworks straight back to that. You know, pulls her straight back again. So we know there's something. It's not just general. It's trauma. You know what I mean? She's got trauma of some sort. Then, of course, on the steps of the temple, that's where Sherry finds her again. We then get another yokai attack. It's like a fish thing.
I love the way you don't get the perfect view of them because they're just gone so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a weird fish lizard thing that jumps out the bushes, and it's like Sherry's just impaled it on her claws.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, she's impaled it on her claws, but she threw her other arm up to protect Hinako because the thing's actually taking a chunk. It's actually got its teeth sunk into her forearm.
Yeah, because it was going to take a chunk out of Hinako when she was sitting there. But yeah, Shuri takes care of it. And then this is the bit where she gets really insulting. She's like, basically, Hinako smells like a rotting whale, and that's where everyone's coming. All the scavengers, God, what's the word for them? Like buzzards and that.
Yeah, scavengers will do.
The scavengers. Basically, They're the particular term, and I can't remember, but that's basically they're attracted to rotting meat.
I know the one you're thinking of is something like plagiarites or something like that.
Yeah,
animals.
Yes,
animals. Answers on a postcard too.
I bloody forgot Lucy Lawless earlier on her name, even though I've been talking about her.
We are right. I've got to be honest. I can be halfway through talking about something and I will forget what I am talking about.
Yeah, and you mentioned somebody's name about 5 times, and then the next sentence you're like, who was it talking about?
Yeah,
my brain just goes.
Yeah. It's that. Oh, I must add that to the shopping list. And the time it takes you to pick a pen up and walk over to where the shopping list is hanging from the calendar, you've completely forgotten what it is, and it's not until 2 days after you've been shopping. Oh yeah, milk. Yep. I am reaching that time of my life.
It's not fun. I will never claim to be an expert, especially like a horror expert. I think because
it's not fun for us. You've got to admit, it's fairly entertaining for the people around us.
Yeah, that's just like, how did you forget that? You were literally talking about it 2 minutes ago. Yeah, because my brain's not working. It's gone scattered. Yeah. It's scattered all over the show.
It's like the wrinkles are leaving my mind. Only smoothness is left.
What's hilarious is people ask me about movies, right?
Yeah.
And I forget if I've watched it or not, and it turns out I have. But for the life of me, I can't remember. Like a lot of stuff, when you've watched thousands upon thousands of movies over your lifetime.
I only remember things that are useful. I only ever remember things that are very useful in life. For the example, if you fired a laser into the sky, it would take 22 minutes to reach Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
That is so useful. If it was a PIN number, no chance. What's your bank sort code? Can phone you back with that. I can remember my national insurance number though, but that was hammered into me.
Yeah, it's weird stuff. You know what I mean? But like I say, that was funny today because I'm forgetting people have been talking about it, like, or people. I was there.
I was there listening in when it happened.
Yep. I can't remember movies. It turns out I have watched them, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did watch that. Sorry, you know what I mean? Turns out I did.
I done like that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the bit, obviously, after being referred to as a rotting whale. This is where we get the revelation that Hinako's family died in a car crash when she was 6. And she was the only survivor, and the only reason she wants to join her family, and her family ended up in the ocean. She wants to join her family, but she was made the promise to carry on living. She made a promise.
Yeah,
a voice told her.
She remembers hearing a voice saying something like, Hinako, you're the only one that matters. Please live, or words to that effect.
Yep.
I like the way the car crashed into the ocean. The car seems to have gone off a cliff, exploded into flames, landed in the ocean, and sunk.
And obviously Hinako was thrown clear, but not unscathed. Hence the
No,
long church and all. We realise that she's been
I'll say
badly burned.
it's one of those things when you first watching it, you're like it's summer. We know it's summer because she's complaining about the heat and how she hates how hot it is and the long days. Everyone else at her high school, the girls at least, are wearing summer uniforms. So it's like nice flowy dresses, nice flowy skirts, short sleeved like sailor tops. Under her uniform, she's wearing what appears to be a black bodysuit. Long sleeves all the way down to the wrists, long leggings all the way down to her ankles. High collar, literally up to her chin. And this is when you find out why she wears it.
Well, we got a bit of a hint. Was it this? She pulled down her, she scratched and she pulled down her sleeve because they're sleeves. They're not. It's not a bodysuit. It's a sleeve. But you see the wee bit of the burn mark. Or was that later on? But we get little hints.
There is a bit where Miko and Shari are talking about Hinako, where it actually shows you Hinako changing her clothes, and you see like her shoulders.
Because she won't go swimming. She won't go to the beach.
No, she refused to go swimming.
When the car crash happened, it was after the summer festival, so that's why the summer festival itself is anathema to her, because they had such a good time, they had a great day, and then it ended in an absolute tragedy. But this has all been alluring to this anyway, so it's not really a revelation when it comes out. We're sort of being keyed up for this. Then we have the awkward exchange between Hinako and Miko in the morning, because it's almost like Miko's trying to suss her out. Oh, did you see the fireworks? Did you see this? And she's acting completely innocent about it. And
she's like, why is she asking? Did she see me? Did she see me? I mean, she'd already told Miko she wasn't going, and Miko gave up.
Yep.
And the fact that she was there with Shari.
But it goes to show, if Miko had went to the house, would she have achieved it? It's one of them things, isn't it? It's just Shari does have influence over Hanukkah, and it's nothing to do with her being eaten. There's that underlying tension.
She has way more influence over her than Miko does.
Yep. Something there, you know what I mean?
Could it just be force of will? Maybe, because she's quite Shari is quite a forceful person.
Where Miko plays the clown, she's the the non-threatening bubblehead clown. Could be. We don't know. That's what's going to get explored in this series, I think. It's not about the flashiness or whatever else. It's the human relationships. That's what we're going to delve into. That's a lot of the effort, and time's been spent on. Like, even we've had about 3 or 4 yokai attacks at this point, and it really fades into the background. That's not what this is about.
No, well, you only see a yokai. There's only a yokai attack when it's important to the plot.
Yeah,
like the what's the this one, the weird lizard fish thing, the big centipede and the head. Which
that happens at the end of this episode. When they're sweeping the floor, sweeping the grounds. Because Hanukkah goes off, she gets called away for something, and that's about where we see Shuri dispatch the other yokai, and then Mika standing there, as if she's seen it.
Oh yeah.
Which takes us on nicely to the next episode.
Yeah,
Which
this is the moment where I'm smiling because I know exactly what is coming next, and it's going to be awesome.
kick. But this is the bit where Miko and Shuri have this exchange. All's not revealed yet, but Mika's aware of Yukai, and it turns out Mika has been protecting Hanako all this time because that's what Shuri keeps asking. How have you been alive this long? How have you been alive this long? How have you survived?
Because you've got to admit, Hinako is kind of useless. No offense to Hinako, but she isn't the most complete human being.
She's the sort of person that would walk down the dark alley at midnight, even though the guy's
Yeah.
the other end. You know what I mean? She has no, but that's part of the thing. She doesn't care if she lives or dies. She
No.
has no interest. She is just going through the motions, and if she gets hit by a bus, she'll not be upset. If she was close to jumping over the bridge, if one of the yokai did eat her, she wouldn't care. She's completely accepting of it. Like we see that she does not care, and that's the whole point of this. Is are they going to get her to a point where she cares again, realizing that life goes on? And this is not a few people. Survivor's guilt is a terrible thing. That whole "why did I live?" Thankfully, it's something I've never had to deal with. But I've known people have, and they can't get their heads around it. Why did I survive that? People lost good mates and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, why me?
Well,
What did I do?
I don't think this has got any. I mean, the only this isn't survivor's guilt. The only reason she is alive is because she made a promise, and she
No, she
can't
was
drink.
thrown from the car. She was burned, but she was thrown from the car, and the rest of her family perished, and she's not got over
Well,
that.
she remembers hearing a voice saying, "Live, Hinako, live."
Yeah, but if she hadn't heard that voice, she would have jumped there, and then she was trying to crawl towards the. Remember, she was trying to crawl towards the ocean. She was going to jump in with her family. That's when she heard the voice. Even as sick, she had that underlying desire, just, her whole family gone in an instant, and she wanted to join them there and then. She didn't want to go on. Especially especially from a 6-year-old's perspective, they had the most perfect day ever. Everything went right. Everything was happy. They were all together. You know what I mean? Even the siblings wasn't sibling rivalry. They're loving siblings. That they actually get on with each other. So to have that ripped away, that was it. But it was the voice that basically, once again, was it better or worse? Would she have been better just jumping in there and then than because she's not living, and that's the thing. She's not actually keeping her promise. If you think about it. Because just melancholy going through life and wishing for the end of it is not living. And maybe that's something that's going to get explored in this, because I think it is. Because it's starting, the more it opens up, the more it's starting to discuss that. That's one of the major underlying tones here. And that's what Shuri's going to try and do, is make her, for benevolent, obviously not for benevolent reasons, but for monsters. It's a bit like Apos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that Daughters Rin, Daughters of Nimison, it's a bit like Apos's character. The sweeter taste, the more, in his case, the more misery, but in Shuri's case, it's the happier. She needs her to be happy and healthy and want to actually live. That's what's going to make her taste sweeter, make it worthwhile. It's almost like a hunter as opposed to just eating for the sake of it. It's not just satisfying a hunger. It's the difference between a game hunter getting that first steak of whatever it kills, and just hunting for food. That's Shuri's perspective. But I love the fact that they go to this. That's definitely a Japan thing, isn't it? These limited edition cakes and stuff. It's an interesting concept. How many?
Oh God, yeah. It's like local 7-Eleven's got this in it. But it's only going to be available for so many weeks. We've got to go and get one. There are YouTube channels which are made up of nothing but these kind of like limited edition things.
Mm-hmm. But we'll
I've been one of the earlier episodes where she's like, the teacher will tell you off if they find out you've been snacking between meals.
Yeah, that's a bit draconian, isn't it?
They're very health conscious. It's like childhood obesity is not a thing in Japan. This is because it's like, according to school rules, you're not supposed to snack between meals, and when you're at school, the school will provide you with one meal a day. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is perfectly nutritionally balanced, totally fresh, and cooked on site. I remember when our schools used to do that. And it wasn't just things like chips and burgers.
No, we had more so in primary school.
Mm.
When I went to secondary school at the canteen, but God, flip! I always went for a curry chip every day, chips and curry sauce.
Mm.
That was not healthy.
Like when I was at school, it was like meat, 2 veg, mash, gravy.
Mm.
Then you go for pudding, and it'd be something like sponge pudding with custard or cornflake tart, things like that. It was when I started going to it was in the last couple of years I was at secondary school, and when I was going to college, that everything seemed to become chips and this, chips and that.
Mm.
Never has a Turkish Twizzler entered my mouth.
I don't even know what one of them is.
No, I've never been able to find out what part of a Turkish Twizzler is. Well, I've never wanted to eat it.
I'd have eaten pot noodles every day, except they had the shitty plastic forks that melted, so it was pointless.
Yes.
And they always poured too much water, so they always like filled the thing right up and not to the level. And I was like,
You either put too much in, and it's watery, or you don't put enough in, and your noodles don't cook properly.
Mm-hmm. No, I couldn't be annoyed with that. And anyway.
Yeah, anyway,
it's just interesting, very draconian, about everyone's being monitored, like what they eat and stuff. But
they have Chinese school kids have a physical every year to see how they're growing, how much weight they put on. The Japanese education system is seriously looking after its kids.
Apart from the important bit, because they're topping themselves.
Well, yeah.
It's all about balance, isn't it? There's something, we can take inspiration, but we can also take warnings from other cultures and way people do things. And if their kids are jumping off buildings or doing whatever, like, that's not good system. There's something missing there. Do we need to kick up the arse ourselves? Absolutely. It's one of them things. There's no system's perfect. Because at the end of the day, people are people. Some people do have self-destructive tendencies. Some people don't have that home structure. I mean, they go home when it's absolute hell. Just like...
Yeah. There are. I mean, it's a very stressful working environment. So you'll get kids of like Miko and Hinako's age, even younger, middle school, in their early teens. They'll leave school, get home, no one will be there because both mum and dad will be out working. There'll be a note on note on the table. There'll be a note on the table with some money. Get your own food, not sushi, because sushi is hella expensive. It's like there'll be a note on the table, or there'll be a plate with some food on it, or there'll be something in the fridge ready for them, or they'll be expected to cook themselves. Quite often you'll see in like animes where the parents are both at work. When the son or the daughter gets home, they'll actually start preparing the evening meal for everybody when his parents get in. Japanese kids have to grow up far too early
But it was
because of
like that during the 80s. Latchkey kids.
Yeah.
I grew up in the generation of latchkey kids. That's not new or unique. I was a weirdo because both my parents were at home. But most of the kids I grew up with, they were latchkey kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my mum used to have a part-time job at the local grocer's, but apart from that, with the amount of brothers and sisters I've got and my mum only working part-time, there would always be someone at home when I got home.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until I grew up, became an adult, and moved away from home that I knew what it was like to actually walk into a house with no one there. Bloody fantastic, because you can just flop down and go, oh.
I'm very I jealously guard my space. I'm like, nope, don't need somebody to share it with. I'm like, nope. I come in, do what I want. That's it. It's like peace. When you deal with people all day, you come in, it's just peace.
Yes.
But anyway, more importantly, we find out that Miko's her whole personality is an act. The whole bubble head thing is just, a persona she puts on. It's not her at all. And that she's actually a yokai as well. But the only reason that Sherry was able to believe or reveal that is because they still use paper records. Because if the school had to use those computer things, she wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, if they use these computer things, I'd love to learn how to use those first.
Yep, complete anathema to her.
Talk about not keeping up with the times.
Yep.
Yeah, but she's like she finds Miko's school records.
And it's not a record; it's a spell. It's interesting that they brought magic into this. I wasn't expecting magic. I know we're dealing with creatures, but it's a strange thing. I wasn't expecting spell casting. Actually, casting proper spells to do what they need to do. So it was really interesting the way she brought that up, and the paper just disintegrated because it was actually the ink was actually an incantation to make whoever read it believe that everything was right.
It is.
That was cool. I don't like that.
Good. It's so good.
I really enjoyed that. That just gave it an extra dimension. Because that's something else we've lost. You know what I mean? We've got, because this whole and I blame 28 days later, once the idea of the zombie virus came in, that just infected entertainment. And the whole idea of mysticism, magic, supernatural elements is all being flushed out, and everything's all explainable by science. And everything's a virus or a genetic mutation or something. And magic is gone. And I miss that because, once again, magic, like go say exposition, no, and imagination is vital.
Yeah.
You need magic in your life. Without magic and imagination, what's the point? We're not a friggin' ant colony. We're humans. Which unfortunately there's some idiots in the world they're trying to view as like an ant colony, think we're all just drones.
No need to think. Just do what I say and everything will be fine.
Just exist. What's the fucking point then?
There's no point in just existing.
It really angers me. does, these arrogant bastards that just want us
You
to.
can't exist. You have to live.
Mhm. No, you can be productive, all for that, but the idea that you just thrash and work yourself to death and nothing else, and you just go to work, wake up, go to work again, and that's your entire world is bullshit. It does anger me, and I try to keep that sort of stuff off the channel, but still, just the arrogance of that, because the people that enforce that, they live life. They're fucking biggest perverts on the planet. They're fucking twisted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does wind me up. That's why I try to, through this channel, just get people to just think about things, as in get yourself inspired. You know what I mean? Do something.
Because if
Have a
you just
reason to live.
if you exist, you exist day to day. You do the
Mhm.
same thing every day. If you live, you lift your head up and look around, and you see that things aren't how they should be.
But more important than that, you see potential. If you've got an imagination, you see potential. And by seeing potential, that's how you make things better. That's how you create. That's how you inspire. If you don't see potential, if it's all doom and gloom like Hanako, then you may as well be dead. There's no difference.
Yeah.
What's the difference? You're just going melancholy through life, waiting for the end.
I mean,
That's pointless.
yeah, in a way, Hinako is dead because Shuri is telling her that she's going to teach her how to live again
Mhm.
before she kills her. I still love that. I love the fact she's here, dragging her to the festivals and taking her to the beach and doing things like that, teaching her how to love life again, teaching her how to smile.
Well, the best thing, healthy meat requires a healthy mind. You know what I mean? That's the best
That
line.
is a great line. And then she goes on to say, well, it's like a farmer looking after the animals that he's going to slaughter so that you can eat them. It's exactly the same for me.
Mhm.
I'm looking after you so that when I kill you, you're going to taste delicious. Got to be honest, Shuri is the perfect amount of creepy.
That'd be like raising the cow and talking to you the whole time. Yeah, I'm gonna munch you up, munch.
Right. It's right. It's not horror. It's not horror. Yeah. There is an anime called. It is anime 2 seasons called Silver Spoon, which is all about this guy who can't decide what he's going to do with his life, so he decides to go to agricultural college. And it goes all the way, and it's like it goes all the way through, say, a sheep giving birth to a lamb to the moment when the lamb is slaughtered. And after the lamb is slaughtered, they all sit around the table eating this lamb. It's the entire process all the way through.
Mhm.
At the ending credit, the guy is standing there with his friends, and the ghosts of all the animals they've eaten are standing behind them, smiling. Silver Spoon, I recommend it. It will make you scratch your head.
Fair enough. I think that's more honest though than just going to the supermarket.
It is. It's basically it was produced by like the one of the food organizations in the Japanese government to give the average person on the street some kind of like window into the food industry. There's another anime called Cells at Work, which basically teaches you how the human body works by turning all the different cells into anime characters. It's a really serious story. There's a horror aspect. There's a second series called Cells at Work Black, which teaches you the horrors of erectile dysfunction. I'm not even kidding.
Fun times. Talking of cooking, also
So great.
The anime flashback to this was so random that
Right, yeah,
Haneko's earliest memories of Mika is Mika trying to teach her how to cook,
yes.
and like the absolute
Mm,
carnage
mm,
that comes from
mm.
it.
But if you think about, like I say, if you think about it, we've just had a fairly heavy episode.
Mm.
I mean, it's like, what's it? We've we've just had a fairly heavy episode, and it's like you need something to like lift the tension, lift the sullenness just a little bit, especially if you consider like the original demographic that this is aimed at. So they slap that little bit on the end of it just to lift the mood a little. For people who've never seen it before, it's like, what?
It is a bit off the wall. You're sort of like, what the hell?
Why?
But also, then we get the serious. You know what I mean? Like we've got that whole thing, Mika being the bubblehead, but then she drops something like, "Oh, I'd made it just how your mother used to cook. You know, it tasted just like your mother," and she named her mother by name,
Mm.
and that's it's hinting at something more. You know, the fact that Mika's been around a long time too, and knows his family intimately, which is another aspect of like, whoa, what's going on here? And then we get that random like anime and musical outro, which
Mm.
was like, what's
Yes.
this? It's not even the normal outro. It's like a different, like off the wall.
It's the Mika special. Come on. It's Mika's ending. But yeah, it's like the normal ending has kind of like the normal ending is like it's quite slow, it's very sedate, it's quite sad. There's lots of like flowers scattered all over it. Lilies. The Japanese word for lily is yuri, by the way.
Mhm.
So it's very slow. It's very of this series, and this is just kind of like K-pop being sung by kids.
Mhm. And like really just jumpy, flashy stuff. It was just random. But then that's built us up because obviously we're into the next episode, and yeah, it's going to be a battle royale. Miko versus Shuri.
Oh, we knew it was coming. We knew there was going to be some kind of a confrontation between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody expects this. I mean, like we've already found out in the previous episode that, like we say, Miko isn't human.
And we also know why Hanako survived this long is because Miko's been protecting her. So
Yes.
Shuri can't figure out like Hanako should have been eaten 10 times over, but it's Mika's there.
Yeah. It's kind of the way that Shuri automatically sees Miko as some kind of rival to the prize, and starts to put. I mean, she's always been like slightly hostile toward. Well, they've been hostile towards each other from the beginning.
Mhm.
But now she's been like openly hostile to her, and she's like, Hinako, come over here. Come and stand by me. Get away from that. That thing, it.
Even though she's a that thing at herself.
She's a that thing it herself. She's the biggest, baddest that thing it there is.
But this is the thing that when they start the battle, obviously, it turns out Miko appeared directly after the episode to be in Haneko's life as a human in a human form to keep her going. And being a yokai, she's got the same weakness that whatever it is about Haneko makes her hungry as well, wants to eat her, because during the fight, obviously, a bit of rock gets dislodged, she gets cut in the arm. And when I find out as well why Miko takes so many days off is because at certain times, Haneko is a temptation.
Oof. Oof. The writing is so good.
It flows so well. You know, that's the thing. This doesn't feel, even with the anime bits, it doesn't feel like that doesn't take away from the story. You know what I mean? It's a wee bit of a distraction, but the rest of this flows so well. And we're not wasting time. I don't feel like this is going to drag on.
No.
I don't see us having more than 2 or 3 seasons, to be honest, because it shouldn't do. It's not that sort of story.
So, like I say, it hasn't. The story itself hasn't finished yet because the manga is still being published. It's still ongoing.
I don't think it'll be a massive like One Piece or anything, like 1,000 episodes or
Oh,
whatnot.
no.
It's not going to be. It's only going to be a couple of seasons at most, because this is it's a tight story, and if they make it go on too long, it's going to ruin it. It's going to ruin the impact.
Yeah, there's only so long you can keep a story like this going before it repeats itself, before it gets boring.
Yes. Looking at you, Death Note. You went on a bit too long. That's our only complaint, is that there's scenes that could have been tidied up so quickly, but it started
now we've seen Death Note the motion pictures.
Completely different experience. But yeah, it turns out that Miko was captured by a monk thousands of years before, and she was actually bound to this land as a protector.
She was a man-eater. She was a yokai who went around killing and devouring people until she was captured by the monk.
But the big thing is that Haneko's family would appeal, indirectly, without realizing, would appeal to her, would offer prayers. Like a small god. One of the prayers was to keep them all safe, the night. And Miko feels like she failed at that because of the accident. She feels like she failed. And it was Miko that told Haneko to keep going. It was her voice. It's amazing how it's all tied together so quick. You know what I mean? There's stories would go around the houses, or this would be like trying to hammer them with a brick. But
yeah, if this was Death Note, Shari would only just be walking into it now, because we'd have had like 4 episodes of Shari walking around saying how she's like more miserable than anyone else, the most miserable person in the world, and how amazing she is because of it.
Yeah, but this is tighter. This is definitely like it flows better. We're getting the point. We're getting the important parts of the story unfolded, because like I said, that's not going to be the focus of this. It's not the yokai, but it's how do you heal somebody that has no purpose to live? How do you do it?
It is one of those questions as it goes on. Who is the biggest monster here? Miko, Shuri, or Hinako? Because how do you heal someone who doesn't want to be? She doesn't want to be healed.
Yep.
She wants to die. I mean, because there is a scene. There is a scene where she says, it's. I think it's when they're on the steps leading up to the temple. They're on the steps leading up to the shrine. I'm sure I'm sure as Xiao is walking back down the steps, Hinako's got her back to her, and she says something like she's going to try and do what Xiao suggests. But if another monster comes along who wants to eat her, she might just let it.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want healing. She doesn't want to be made whole again. She wants to join us.
And the thing is, so far, Mika's efforts have not achieved anything.
I say, like Mika's just trying to be like, she seems to be just trying to like be as happy and as bubbly as possible.
Yeah, but she thinks that's the method.
Yeah, drag her along, hoping it rubs off. Which it totally isn't. But she's still a great friend to have around because she doesn't seem to have many friends.
It was literally nobody else. Like, she has no real interaction with anybody else. It's been Mika and now Shuri. It turns out, though, that as well, that Miko has been watching over Hinako's family in particular because, like I said, the connection with the shrine, etc. So she knows her entire lineage as long as they've lived in that area. And despite all that, that's where Hinako actually, that's the first of Hinako starting to break a bit, as in she realizes that this friendship, is deep. Despite her being a yokai, the fact that I think it sort of makes it a bit more special.
Mm.
And this is the first of Hinako actually acknowledging Miko as something more than just like an empty head, just being around. Like not taking her almost taking her for granted up to this point. Which leads us nicely into the 6th episode, which it was an interesting one. So we have just to start off that basically Miko in her yokai form, which is basically a giant fox with multiple tails, bites off 2 of her tails. The reason being that by reducing herself in rank as a yokai will reduce her cravings, but it also reduces her abilities, so it makes her more vulnerable. So that's like a massive sacrifice she makes.
I love the way they kind of like come to a deal at the end. I love how at the end Miko basically uses their reduced status to almost blackmail Shari into like looking after Hinako.
They're both
now.
They're both arrogant.
They're both protecting her. But it's like Miko. It's like there's a level of arrogance about both of them, which is really, really good.
Because both of them are trying to say, I'm in control, you're doing this because I will it. And they're both doing it to each other because both want to have the upper hand.
Well, you have to think back in like the ancient days of Japan, even medieval Japan, feudal Japan. These are the types of spirits that would be venerated by the local people. Because it's like Miko has a shrine. If she has a shrine, it means people worshipped her. They gave offerings. It's like sailors. Sailors give offerings to the sea and the creatures that live in the sea to protect them. Technically, but in their own way, even though they've like in the modern age they've diminished because people don't necessarily believe in that thing anymore. Each of them is a small god.
It was Terry Pratchett, Small Gods, actually, funny enough, the name of the book,
Yeah.
he covered all this, that there's only a certain amount of belief in the world. And if you reduce, if gods basically become forgotten, that's the worst thing about a god, is become forgotten. So even if they've got a tiny shrine that maybe somebody sticks a penny in, they're still remembered, so they still exist. The worst thing for a
Yeah.
god is to be completely forgotten. He also covered it in the Hogfather, because when they removed the Hogfather, the auditors, that massive, basically, the Hogfather's Discworld's version of Santa Claus. Don't know if you're familiar with
Oh,
Discworld at all. So when they removed the Hogfather, that amount of belief that existed in one entity spread about. So every little thing that was like the toenail gnome and stuff, weird things like that,
yeah.
just came into being because there was extra belief floating about. So it went into all the other creatures. So yeah, I can see that with yokai. You know what I mean? The more belief in them, the more powerful they become. And it seems that Haneko's family kept Miko in existence with their belief, by offering to her. Now, I don't know if anybody else did as well, but it seemed to be this particular family
Mm.
forged the connection. Hence Miko's guilt, because they directly appealed to her and she failed them. So she's made it her mission to look after Hanako. Different, same outcome, but a different reason, as opposed to Shuri, where Shuri's reasons are 100% selfish.
Mm. They're just as selfish as each other if you think about it.
Yeah, but just their own different.
Yeah, which is why they're trying to make Hinako exclusive to each other.
And they want to be the one calling the shots. That's the thing. But it was the accident. Whatever happened in the accident's what's changed Hinako. So there was nothing about Hinako before the accident. So whatever happened there, that's what we're finding out, is what basically made her appealing to yokai. And that's probably something we're going to find out later in the next lot. But what it is that changed in her, is it the burns? Is there something on her flesh?
Is
Because
it
we
the
haven't
disrespect?
seen. Well, don't forget, we've only seen her as a kid, with the plasters on her, but we haven't seen what the extent is. Is there
Oh,
something there?
yeah, right. There is. I think, I don't know if it's in this. I'm sure it's in this one. But there is a shot where you see Hinako from the back as if she's changing clothes, because she's literally you see her, you only see the tops of their shoulders and like bra straps, but there's very extensive scarring going across her back and down her right arm. I wonder if is the thing that makes her so like tasty, her despair, and if she manages to get over that and learns to live again,
Well,
will Yokai want to eat her anymore?
Well, that's what's going to play out, isn't it? It's one of two things. Either the process of making her want to live again will change Shuri, and no, like with most creature, what's a dangerous thing? The most supernatural creature is to be infected with humanity. That warning, anything that falls in love with a human tends to be doomed. Like there's loads of stories like that. God, even Death
Oh,
Note covered it with the Shimigami. The thing that kills the Shimigamis, to fall in love with a human. That's
yeah.
another thing as well. That humanity is it's a not toxic, concentrated. What's the other word for concentrated? Powerful. It's a powerful force. It's a, what I mean. The pure spirit of humanity is something that you can't contain. It always comes out. I mean, it's always, that's why you can't have. There's no such thing as a perfect system. There's no such thing as a perfect method of governance. There's no such thing as a perfect society, because humans aren't like that. The force of humanity is too strong, and it can be guided and sort of goaded along, but it can't be contained, because eventually it breaks out. Because if you curtail it, it comes out in the most dramatic way possible. Let's even go to modern times. The Matrix covered that very well
They did.
in the first one. Then it got stupid, but that original first movie was like genius. We'll forget about the sequels because they kind of fluffed up a bit, but the concept, that humanity is too hard to contain, and it doesn't matter what what VR, whatever fake thing you put up. Like, look at people now, the digital age. People are rebelling against the digital age. That's why there's like a resurgence in physical media. People need carnality. You need to physically experience life, and you can't do that through a headset or a screen. I know there's certain
You've got to actually got to go out there and you've got to witness it firsthand.
Yes. I've noticed actually a lot of young people have very little dexterity because all they do is this, but they don't do anything with their hands. And when it comes to doing anything, they're completely lost. And they're realizing what they're missing out on. They're not being told they're missing out on anything. They've realized themselves. And it tends to figure itself out, you know what I mean? And it comes out in weird ways that you can't predict because that's humanity. Humanity always tries to course correct itself, or not be, when it's constrained too much or held back, it always comes out. We've seen that throughout history. It's never going to change. So for inhuman monsters, that's the dangerous thing, is to be infected with humanity. Some crave it, but they don't understand it. So this is what potentially could happen to Shuri. It looks like to a point it has happened to Mika.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But the most to show how broken Hineka is, and also you mentioned, is Hineko the monster? She goes, I hope you two can be friends after I'm gone. Like, that's the most damning statement. Like, that's showing they're both going to fail their mission.
Yeah.
That she's like, well,
Yeah,
after Shuri eats me, would you please be friends with each other? Do you know what I mean? That's another level there.
She goes on later. She goes on later to explain that it's like she's having a conversation with Shuri, and she's like, my life must just be like a blink in the eye for you, because it's like yokai, right? Humans only live for a few years, but yokai are eternal. So I think she's kind of hoping that like Shari and Miko can be friends, so that after she's gone, neither of them are going to be alone.
But there's another thing as well. When Hikino walks off, Shari's like, you don't know what it means to be lonely. You don't know what loneliness is. And that deeply of that remark, or whatever she said, deeply affected her. So this is the interesting thing they can play with, and I think they are going to play with, is what happens when the monster gets a taste of humanity, and not, an actual taste of the spirit of humanity. What happens?
So also ask the questions. It's like, what is this again? What is this story exactly about?
Mm-hmm.
Is it about Hinako, or is it about the others?
I think it's about all of them. I don't think it's not a simple story, right? It's not a simple. The premise sounds really simple and straightforward, but this is a deep story, like, without a doubt.
The horror is very subtle, apart from the end of this episode, where it just kind of ramped up just a little bit.
So whatever changes coming through, and it goes obviously send out like shockwaves, because finally Shuri convinces her to go to the beach, because Mika bit off two of her tails, she can't go.
It's Miko convinces her to go to the beach. Because she's there. Look at all these. You don't just have to swim. Look at all these stores and shops and places you can go, and arcades and things like that. You'll have a great time there. You don't have to go and swim. But I can't come with you, because apparently removing two of her tails has weakened her power, and it's not safe for her to leave her territory anymore.
Yeah, but also she can't, you know what I mean? She's bound closer.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was an interesting one. And then that's where the whole, once again, the power play, I give you permission to do it, and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's it. But obviously, it goes well until they get to the promenade. And then it just turns into a zombie movie.
Jeez, it's like oh, what a shame. The rain's coming, says Sherry, and it starts raining, and everybody's running for cover, and then it's just like the sky is grey, the sea is dark because of the grey clouds, and all these like zombie hands just stick up out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, yes, looking forward to the next episode.
If that turns out to be one creature, that would be mad. It's either going to be a zombie horde or it's going to be one creature. that's going to be different. But yeah, I have really enjoyed this. I see the deeper story that's been told here. It's not just surface level, which I think we've come to expect from a lot of anime stuff. It's not.
That's just it. This isn't one of those. This isn't one of those light. Here's the story, and everything that's going to happen in 5 minutes. Now just sit back and watch the fun kind of anime.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an anime that takes itself far too seriously and feels the need to stretch itself out, like Death Note.
Mm-hmm.
I rank this up there with Hellgirl. It's quite a slow anime, but it drip feeds you the story and the information just quick enough to keep you interested in it.
That's the thing I hate about Western storytelling is everything's safe for the last 15 minutes. The Conjuring, I believe, like that. The first one.
Yeah.
Everyone raves about that movie, but it drags on until last 10 minutes, all's revealed. Right? It was Valak, blah, blah, blah.
I was your father after all. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. A lot of movies are like that. You could skip the last 10 minutes and get the entire plot because that's what they do. The drag, expositionized all so you remember the ending of it, you know.
Yeah.
TV shows do that as well. They'll hint till the season finale. It's really annoying. That's why I don't do TV. It's very formulaic like that. I don't like that. I like the fact that we've got the important information in these first 6 episodes. So the next 7 episodes, we can see it play out. Hopefully. The only thing really to explore now is what changed in Hinako. What makes her so appealing? I mean, what's this radiating from her? Where does it come from?
Because she smells like a rotten. Because she smells like a rotten whale.
Yeah, but that's how they pick it up. You know, it's their must or whatever. You know, is attracting them. Obviously, not in the human world. But what is it? What caused it? Can it be reversed or changed? That's, you know what I mean. I'm just surmising
we'll have to watch the next 7 episodes, and if that doesn't work, I'll send you a link to the manga.
But there you go. That was cool. Sorry for everyone watching after the fact. I don't know what the hell's happened. I had technical issues with the platform tonight. The first lot wouldn't stream at all. Then this came out and streamed for a bit and then died. So this will be uploaded after the fact. But hope you enjoy it. Anyway, there you go. Thanks, buddy, as always, for being here. It's great to talk about these
anytime,
things.
Sir. Always a pleasure.
We are back on Wednesday with the Hellgirl live action movie. Fun times.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to that one.
It's a fun movie. A couple of bits you'll sort of go, what are they doing it that way for? But I think it's because it's a movie and not an entire series. But we'll talk about it during it. But there you go. Until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the typical things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.